friends, hope you're all doing good and the exam dates have been now announced. The prelims is on October 4th and the mains is on January 8th. So right now, if you have already prepared for the May month prelims, you have adequate amount of time to focus on the mains also. So I would like to give some idea about the basic mains preparation and share some of my experiences with you so that you can get some hints from that. The first thing you have to do about the mains preparation is knowing the syllabus well. So it applies for both prelims and mains. In mains, you will know the syllabus very extensively to get a clear idea of what are all the topics present, and you may not miss some of the hidden small topics in that. So first, take the syllabus, have a thorough idea of what is in GS 1, 2, 3 and 4. So this will help you to plan what to study, how much time it will take for each paper and all. And the next thing is the source identification, because for prelims you will have some fixed books to learn, but in mains you will have some extra topics and very small topics which may not be available at a one place. So you need to identify the source for each topic. For example, in prelims for history you would have read Spectrum or NCERTs and all. Here we have the world history, post-independence, and then in the GS1 we have society, for which there may not be a consolidated materials. So first you identify what source you are going to follow for each topic. But now you are fortunate that a lot of institutes or online you can get lot of books with for example for society, internal security, for all these small areas also there are books. So you can find a good source for that. So identify the source and then make a schedule to complete this source, how much days I will need. So that planning is very much important, because otherwise you will keep on dragging the days. For example, you can finish a topic in one day, but if you don't have a plan and you think that there are a lot of time for me for preparation, you may tend to lose time. Okay, so the source is important. Third thing is clear identification of the line items. So for example, under society you will have 6-7 topics. So take each line item and prepare notes. Even if you have a separate book for society or some institute's notes or consolidated material, I would suggest you take a 2-page or maximum 3-page notes for each topic. That note you take in the mains format, like prepare an introduction for that topic, a conclusion, add some of the facts related to that topic, and then the points, like what topics it can be added is like disadvantage, advantage, or what are the future steps it can be taken, what is the present status. So these kind of subheadings you identify for each topic and prepare a consolidated notes. So this will be very helpful to revise day before the exam, or when you are appearing for some test series, mock test series, you can revise it quickly. And these facts, if you are incorporating in your model test, it will be very much staying in your mind, so you can apply in the final exams also. So for example, if you are taking the role of women and in present society, there you can prepare the sex ratio or some indexes, then the education ratio. So these things are the present facts, and then you can include some of the schemes. Then you can go what we have to achieve for. There you can add the sustainable development goals or some more millennium development goals. These sort of futuristic goals you can add for the conclusion. Okay. So next, with respect to GS, the one different thing is ethics. GS 1, 2, 3, your preparation will be similar. Find the syllabus, source, and then go for the line item wise. In ethics, nowadays it is more of changing towards practical things. It's not about theoretical. That is, you cannot study a book, memorize it and write and score in ethics. It's not about that. So it's about practically understanding the concept, finding relevant examples and applying in the real case. So this is what the present ethics paper looks like, and lot of weightage has been given to ethics in public administration. So if you want to have an edge in this ethics paper, one good thing which you can do is collecting examples. That examples can be of your personal life examples and the real incidents which are happening, or the life story of leaders or any administrators, any new initiatives they have taken. So all these things, whichever comes in the newspaper, you can use in the ethics. For example, recently I remember a news that an RPF personnel in the Shramik train, he was running with the train to give a milk packet to a small child. So these you can add when it comes to empathy in administration. When these sort of topics come, you can add these kind of examples which will make your paper very unique, and that you have followed up the current affairs and you are able to correctly relate with the concept. So this will make the evaluator understand that you have a clarity about the concept. So these collection of examples will be hectic when you start doing it just before the exam. So if you are making these time like daily half an hour or 1 hour, you can spend for collecting these facts and examples, which will reduce your difficulty level or your hardiness during the mains. Okay, so this is one important step which will add value to every answer of yours. And next thing is, after collecting all this, now you have a material, you have studied. Main thing is answer writing. So without the practice, you cannot appear for the mains. That will only degrade your confidence, or you will not be able to manage the time. So you can do daily answer writing or weekly answer writing as per your schedule. Daily you can write up to 5 questions, or weekly you can write 3 hours test. So it's up to your schedule and your time management. But make sure you allot adequate time and write. It's not that you take one 10-mark question, write it for half an hour. No, that is not going to take you anywhere, because in the exam hall you have only 7 minutes for a 10-mark question and maximum 11 minutes for 15-mark question. So if you at least write a 10-mark in the beginning in 15 minutes, then you can gradually reduce your time and reach the 7 minutes margin. For this you need daily answer writing practice. Okay. Next thing is test series. So how the answer writing practice is different from test series. The thing is, in answer writing, you will be like you will be studying a topic and you will be writing a question related to that or something. But when the test series comes, it will be like GS1 will have history, geography, society, and every subject mixed. So in that, your thought process will not be towards a single subject. Whatever you learned, you cannot, because the questions may be unexpected questions also. So the how you manage in that practical examination hall, that practice will come only when you write a proper test series. That too you should write for the 3 hours. Utilize the time properly and try to finish all the questions. So there you will learn time management, how to answer when unexpected questions come, how to relate the points which you read with some topics which is out of the out of your preparation area. So all these practice comes only with the answer writing. So believe me, in my experience in 2017, I used to write the daily answer writing thing. Like I used to write 2-3 questions daily during that mains. But I did not go for the full-fledged test series. But and in the finally when the results came, I missed the mains result by 3-4 marks. Then I realized that okay, answer writing was good, but I got panicked during the ethics test when I had to rush it because my time management was not that up to the mark. Then in 2018, I cleared that mistake of mine and I went for a full-fledged test series. I wrote all the tests, literally I wrote around 30 tests for all the subjects included. And with each test, I was able to see my improvement, like in terms of presentation, time management, and how to give the structure to an answer. Everything got improvised, because when someone is evaluating you, they will point your mistakes, because when you evaluate yourself, you will tend to miss those mistakes of yours. So in that test series only, the structure of an answer and my presentations improved, because presentation doesn't mean handwriting alone. It means having a legible writing as well as including the diagrams and pictures wherever possible. You can make a flow chart or a diagrammatic representation, which will save time and improve your presentation also. So these things will come to you very handy, and you need not think a lot in the actual examination if you have done it in these test series. So test series is very much important for the mains. And next thing is cross evaluation. Don't be isolated. Some may be like they will be studying alone, they do not want to study with others. It's totally fine. Studying by yourself is fine. But the thing is, after writing an exam or getting a test series paper, always try to cross evaluate with your peers, like your friends or someone, so that you can see how better they have done, or what mistake they have done, how this can be made better, or some of the diagrammatic presentations which they have. Okay, then you will get an idea. I also should do. If these kind of questions come, I can do this. If this kind of question come, I should draw a map. here I can draw a flowchart. These ideas comes only with a cross evaluation. So that will be very much helpful to you. So again, starting from the syllabus till cross evaluation, these steps will take you to an organized way of mains preparation. And always keeps in mind that the practice makes a person perfect, and this is 100% applicable to your mains. So don't panic, don't worry, like I don't have a proper communication or writing skill. Everything will come with the practice. Just make right use of the time and allocate adequate amount of time and effort to the mains preparation. It's not just about clearing prelims. The mains is a major part of your UPSC examination. So give due importance to that, and I wish best of luck to everyone. Hope you all do well. Thank you.